maybe,
Yeah, it's
Samantha? Yeah,
6:04.
let's get
That
started.
seems
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And it's going to be recorded, as you mentioned. So other first two folks can, see the recording of this presentation in the first two website. Okay. So I'm super happy to be here. During one of our first two meetings, it was mentioned that students were very interested in learning more about research opportunities, what kind of research they could apply. And I was talking to Katie, my colleague at the Honors College, and we work really closely because they help students with their personal statements. And we know that to have a very competitive application, the personal statement would be very important. So Katie will be really helpful in giving you guys tips depending on which opportunity you're going to apply, what should you put on your personal statement to make your application stronger. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So the way we will split this presentation, I will be talking more about research opportunities, although I can see some familiar names here of people who participate in research or are participating in research at WVU. So maybe you guys can, since we have a small group, you can share your experience with your research with the rest of the group. How did you apply? How did you get into the research? How is your research now? This always help, when students talk to one another to learn more about their experience. So let me share my screen so we can get started. Okay. So can everyone see my screen?
We're good. Yes.
Good. The
Yes.
full screen or the slide presentation?
I just see the slide presentation.
Okay. Like the full screen with the slide because I have three screens here. I just want to make sure I share the correct one.
I totally
Okay.
understand. I just see the thing I think you want us to see.
Okay. So, I don't know why it's not going. It's not passing. Oops. Okay. Oh my gosh. Am I still sharing? No.
Nope, no, no.
Sorry, I'm having some problems here. Give me 1 second. I'm with a new computer now, and I'm still kind of having a hard time using it. I haven't been at the office since last Friday to use my regular computer, so it's been challenging to say the least.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yeah.
And I'll just go ahead and say, yeah, if you guys hear any noises in the background while I'm talking, it's because usually my kids are at dance class on Thursday nights, but we haven't been out of the house since last week. So we're all here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I hope this works now. Okay, should work now. Let's put in the slide presentation mode. This. Okay, I think it's gonna work now. So the goal for this presentation is pretty much show you how to find, although most of you might know how to find research opportunities because most of you have participated, and I want to hear from you guys later. How to select best opportunities because sometimes opportunities that might feel like wonderful, they are not the best for you, because they are located in a place that you cannot be there, just an example. So how you select best opportunities for you, how to build a strong application, and then we have a space for you guys ask us questions. And as I mentioned, I also want you guys to participate, telling us about your research experience. So before we get started, I have this poll. I just want to learn, are you currently freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior? Can you fill out this poll so Katie and I, we can know, where we are here. I think you can either the QR code or join with Slido. Okay, senior, sophomore. So we have a freshman and seniors and sophomores and seniors. Good, good. So we have kind of a diverse audience in terms of what kind of research opportunities should apply. So that's good. Well, so first of all, I always like to mention this. Why participate in research experiences? There is a vast evidence, a lot of evidence in the literature showing that students who participate in research experience, they benefit a lot of those experiences because they will get some skills, they will improve some skills that will be very important, not only if they want to stay in academia, like pursue a career in academia, go into graduate school, but also if they decide to go into the job market, those skills they are very important and make them different and more competitive for whatever they will choose after they graduate. So sometimes the students, they reach out to the office saying like, I want to participate in research. And I always ask the question, why you want to participate in research? And then a lot of them, they say, oh, because I'm going to apply to medical school. I'm going to apply to professional school or to graduate school, and I need to have this on my resume. And then I say, but do you know why this is valued on your resume? It's not just to check a box. It's because these skills are important for whatever you will do afterwards. And I honestly, I always talk to students like, you should not tell this to a potential mentor, because no one want to hear that. I just want to do research because I need to check this box. Trying to understand why this is important and why this experience has a lot of value out there, okay? So, with that said, how can students participate in research experiences? There are different ways, right? Students can always volunteer. They can just knock at the door of a faculty, say like, hi, I'd like to have a research experience. I heard it was really nice. And can I shadow someone in your research space? And faculty can agree. Most of the time, faculty will agree on having students. Of course, volunteer students is always good because faculty also need people working on their research because they need to publish, right? So this is a way that always existed that students can participate in research. This is usually a reality for a lot of students who want, like freshman students, right? It's hard for them. They do not have previous experience in research. So some of them can afford to volunteer. And I'm going to speak a little bit more about this later on my presentation. Students can do research by credits. This is also possible. At WVU, there are like research courses, numbers to designate research courses. We have at WVU the Research Apprenticeship Program that gives students credits to participate in research, but any major can use certain numbers there are to designate research courses so students can be compensated for their research with credits. And a lot of faculty, they have resources to pay students to do research. They submit grants, and in these grants, they can put like a certain amount of money to pay undergraduate students to participate in research. The thing is with when faculty, they sponsor students to do research, they usually seek students with previous experience, which will mostly be upperclassmen students, juniors and seniors with some experience. And if not experience in research, at least students who have like finished courses, certain courses that will be important for them to do the research. And we have what we call structured research programs, which structured research programs are a way to formalize a research participation in a way. I usually tell students, what's the difference between all of these ways to participate in research? When you participate in a structured program, those programs will have requirements, right? So once you include on your resume that you finish, that you concluded that research, you usually will have a badge, a certification. And in this certification, anyone can check and see, wow, if the student completed this experience, they did 400 hours of research. They were required to present their research in a symposium, a conference. So they know that the student met all that requirements. So it's more formal. You have this on your transcript. So it's a more formal way to show your experience. That's the advantage of those structured research programs. So one of the things that I also want to talk about on how can I participate in research experience that is important to keep in mind, it's the difference between academic year opportunities and summer opportunities to participate in research. And this will be important when you choose which opportunity to choose to apply. And before I go through this, I have another question. I saw familiar names here, so I feel like the responses will be mostly yes, but can you all respond to this question? Did you have an opportunity to participate in UR experiences? Do we have, so all of you guys participated? That's wonderful. Well, since 100% here participate in research experiences, I want to learn. Oh no, we have one no. I'm going to give you like 1 minute for more people to respond. Okay, for those who responded yes, can you let us know, let everyone know, from which institution are you and which research experience you had, for how long, how did the experience was? Can we, Samantha, can you see your screen and then follow up on your screen with the name of the students?
Absolutely. So we want to go through and see how long everybody has been doing it.
Yeah. Who has participated? Just to let us know from what institution they are and which kind of research experiences they have.
All right. Ada, you're up first. I'm going to put names in the chat and then I'll do it. But it's Ada, as soon as you're ready, you were the first person on my screen. I'm sorry, honey.
No, that's okay. So I'm a freshman at West Virginia University. So I started as soon as I got here. I had scanned like a QR code during open house the one time. And then I met with my professor, Dr. Tion, over the summer over Zoom, and she connected me with my graduate student. He's a master's student. And then they told me a little bit about their project, and I was interested and wanted to join. So then I started meeting with them as soon as the school year started, and I've had a really good experience. I'm part of a chemical engineering group, which is interesting because I'm an industrial engineer. So it's a lot of things that I want to get to learn in my coursework. And I'm working on a program that optimizes a supply chain for like wastewater solids to fertilizer. So I've been able to really learn skills as far as coding. I'm using Python. So I had learned a little bit in high school, but I definitely had to like freshen up for my research. So far I've had a really good experience and been able to learn a lot of things outside of my coursework.
And just to clarify, you participate in a structured research program, right?
Yes,
Ada,
I'm part
which is
of
the REP.
the RAP program.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Just to clarify. Okay, go ahead, Samantha.
All right. I'm going to give it a stab and then you can tell me which one's right. Is it Mia or is it Maya? Or is it something that I didn't choose?
It's Maya.
Maya, okay.
So I'm a sophomore here at West Virginia University, and I also joined through the RAP program. I met my mentor, Dr. Mariah Cat, and she was awesome. She's doing research more neuroscience based, which I don't exactly want to go into neuroscience, but it still links to stuff that I do want to go into. And we are working on creating a bispecific antibody that will be able to carry therapeutics into the brain to cure Alzheimer's disease. That's what our research is about.
That's wonderful.
That's super exciting. All right. Sarah Warder, you're up on deck.
I'm a senior at WVU, so I've had quite a a few opportunities for research. My very first experience was through the RAP program also. I started in astronomy research, and then I realized that I kind of wanted to do something different, so I had switched my major completely. And just for credit hours, like it wasn't a program or anything, but through the chemistry department, I joined a medicinal chemistry lab where we were doing like peptide synthesis for leukemia treatment options. And then I was in that for a couple of years and realized I kind of wanted out of the lab. It was really awesome, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So then this past semester, I just asked a professor in the public health school if I could do research with them on their like policy advocacy stuff for naloxone.
Okay, awesome.
Very nice. Jamie, I am very happy to see you. I'm really sorry I didn't come to see you in person last week and then I bailed on you, but I got so sick. You did not want it. I'm
You're
still not great.
fine.
I'm
I
so
totally
sorry.
get it.
All right, tell us all about
I'm
you.
I'm a sophomore at Glenville State University, and I have not had any like university research experience yet. Um, we are required to do like a senior research project, so I will have to eventually. But I've done like stuff outside of class, but not like necessarily a strict research program before.
Okay, good.
Uh, Ian, you're up next, bud.
Why is the brightness so bright? Give me a second.
Have you done research before?
No, I wouldn't say it classifies as research because I'm a certification seeker. I go to Blue Ridge Community Technical College. Projects, I guess, that I focus on helping new students get to know the staff that's comes in, so that they can feel comfortable enough to seek help when they need it.
Okay. That's
So most of your research experiences through that sort of educational research that we're doing through First Two Network. That makes sense.
Yes.
Ella, you are next.
Hi, so I'm a senior, so I've had a lot of different types of research experiences. I started out as a senior in high school through a more structured program. It's like a mentorship program, and I got involved at WVU. And I've been working with Dr. Benedito on kind of understanding plant metabolite synthesis and gene modification and stuff like that. And I've worked on that for a long time. And then recently I joined another lab in the biology department, and I found that through a flyer. So that's like another interesting way that you can kind of find research. It was just like a spur of the moment. I just contacted the professor and got involved. And that was just for pay. It wasn't for any kind of credit or anything. And then this past summer, I did an REU, which is another structured program at Texas A&M at Corpus Christi. And so that was a really interesting experience where I spent the summer in Texas for 2 months and did more biochemical marine research.
Very nice. Thank you. Ray, we want to wrap us up here? Ray is at work and they can't talk, but Ray is a senior at WVU Tech. And while they have helped their first two advisor analyze data collected by her and her research assistant, they have not directly participated in any research yet.
okay. Good, good. Thanks everyone for sharing. So I see that a lot of you guys participate in research, structured research programs. So all of you that mentioned participating in research was in a structured way in different programs, right? So one of the programs that I want to share with you, because I know some of you have participated, I think just Ella here has participated in the SURE program. It's the Summer Undergraduate Research Experience that WVU provides to students every summer. Actually, it's going to be our 20th year providing the SURE opportunity for students during the summer. So how the SURE program works, it's a mentored full-time research experience during summer. So students, they do research during 8 weeks in the summer, 40 hours a week. So the minimum requirement of hours to participate in SURE is like 40 hours of research a week during 8 weeks. The students, they get a stipend of $5,000. And there's also an accompanying 1 credit course where students will have some professional development as well. We were able last summer to fund 65 students and we are hoping to fund the same number of students in 2026. So applications are open for the SURE program, and I left the QR code. If you go to the QR code or to this link here, you will find more information about the SURE program, like requirements. I'm just going to go through really quickly on the main requirements for SURE. So you all here will be eligible because to participate, you need to be either a West Virginia resident or be attending a West Virginia institution, which is all of you here, right? So the thing about SURE and other summer research opportunities, so from now on, I will be talking about summer opportunities. Most of them will require some level of experience in research in any level. It can be volunteer, it can be credits, it can be a structured research program. More experience you have, the better, because your application will be stronger. But I always encourage the students to apply because you never know. In a program as large as SURE, where we are able to fund 65 students, depending on the pool of applicants that specific years, we are able to provide, to give a chance to students without like strong previous experience, if that makes sense. So I always encourage students to apply. You never know, right? You never know the applicants of their specific pool. More information you'll be able to see in the website. I left all information in the slide. If you do not, to apply for the SURE program, you need to have a research mentor. It's easy for those students who already are participating in research because they have their mentors. They just ask their mentors if they can mentor them in the SURE program. If you do not have a mentor, I encourage you to search faculty directory at WVU. When you search at the directory, you will be able to find faculty profile, and they describe about their research interests. Especially at WVU, there is in our one institution, most faculty, they are required to do research. So they will describe in the website the research that they do, what kind of projects are available. And then you can contact those faculty directly because they have their email. They are saying like, hi, my name is John. I'm interested in participating in the SURE program. Would you give me an opportunity to discuss this further? Usually encourage email when you send, I encourage students when send an email to faculty, try to show why you are interested in working with that specific person. Go to their website. Most of them, they will have like their Google Scholar, where you will find their publications. Read at least an abstract of those publications to understand what kind of research that person does. Because in your email, you can say, hi, I'm interested in having you as a mentor for this experience. I read about your research and I was really interested about how you developed this new pharmaceutical or something like this, I read your most recent article and it was really interested, and I was wondering if we can schedule time to discuss this further. Attached is my resume. Looking forward to hear from you. Okay, so something simple, but that shows that you have some knowledge about what that person does, if that makes sense. So I was going to say something else about the SURE. Oh, if that does not work, I'm more than happy. The Office of Undergraduate Research is more than happy to help students find mentors to participate in the SURE program. Samantha, can you put in the chat the email of the Office of Undergraduate Research? Is undergradresearch@mail.wvu.edu. I forgot to include the email in the slides.
Undergrad research
at mail.wvu. Yes. Okay, awesome.
Cynthia, can I just jump in for a second? Did you mention the stipend?
Oh, yes, the stipend for SURE.
Mm-hmm.
It's $5,000.
Okay,
it's in this,
just checking. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
The money is important.
Of course, yes. It's a paid, most summer I'm not going to say all, but I believe all summer opportunities will be paid experiences. At least as far as I know, for summer, they are paid opportunities. So now I want to talk. I know that Ella mentioned that she participated in an RU. RU stands for undergraduate experiences, research experiences. I'm messing up here. So research experiences for undergraduates. So this is funded by the National Science Foundation. So they fund those experiences, this RU that they call RU sites throughout the United States. So many institutions throughout the country, they apply to the National Science Foundation to have an RU site. So, and the way RUs work is that I'm going to show like the RUs from WVU. The RU sites at WVU, they usually cannot accept students from WVU. They will accept students from other institutions. So if you are a student at WVU, you will not participate in an RU on your own institution. You are going to apply for external opportunities because the main goal of RUs is to recruit students for graduate schools. So RUs at WVU, they are seeking students for their graduate program. So these students come from other institutions, they participate in the RU, and with the hope that they will know about the graduate programs and they will apply for those programs. So you should be looking for RUs throughout the United States and see what works best for you. The good thing about applications for RUs, no, first of all, just describing really quickly before I go to how to apply. These are mentored full-time research experiences as well. Usually they last 9 to 10 weeks. It can vary depending on the site. The stipends are really good, $7,000 with room and meals provided. Usually, like sure, application is due March 1st. Most are used, I'd say most summer research experiences, they will have applications from November from the previous year to March. But the deadline can vary a little, but I mean, if you are looking for summer research experiences, please try to apply as soon as possible. For most summer research experiences, deadlines are end of February, beginning of March. RUs are very competitive, so try to, like Katie will talk about the personal statement, you need to build a very strong application for if you are interested in RUs. So the good thing about RUs for application, they have a common application site. I left like the site in the slide, also the QR code, that you can, in the same application, you can check more than one RU. So with one application, you select different RUs, and they will contact you for like an interview if you move forward to the next stage of the selection process. It's a very, very interesting experience. If you have time, Ella can share her experience in working in an RU. I just want to mention like the Office of Undergraduate Research website. If you go to opportunities, I'm going to click here to enter the website. I think it's going to go, yep. So this is the Office of Undergraduate Research website. In WVU opportunities, we list RUs. There are RU sites at WVU. So starting here, RUs. WVU RU, we have astrophysics, plasma physics, applied analysis, robotics. This is engineering one. This is behavioral science, and this is also from engineering. So these RUs would be open for non-WVU students if they are interested in an RU. But in our website, we also list other summer research opportunities that happens at WVU, and they accept WVU students. So I listed SURE that I've talked about already. The Health Science Center at WVU, students who are interested in like, especially health professional schools, these are really interesting programs. So the Summer Undergraduate Research Vision Research Fellowship Program, They are also open for applications for the summer opportunity. The Cancer Institute, they have like applications open for this summer. NASA Space Grant Consortium also with applications open. So if you navigate our website, we always update those opportunities to participate in summer research, either at WVU or in other places here. So this is WVU opportunities. If you go, we also list external opportunities where you can find research in other places external to WVU if you are interested. So I really encourage you to visit our website where you will be able to find those opportunities. Okay. Just to any questions? I forgot to ask if you guys have questions. Do we have questions in the chat, Samantha?
Not any that you need to answer. I've got all the ones that are good.
Okay,
I've got all of
good,
those
good.
answered.
Okay, cool. Great. So I just want to mention really quickly, most of those summer opportunities that I mentioned, they are used, the SURE program and also those other programs at WVU. These are applications that you have to fill out and try to participate. But I also encourage the students, if you feel like, well, I'm a freshman, I should not apply now, maybe I can get some experience and then build a strong application for next summer. A good way for you to network with faculty and trying to get involved is to come to our symposium. We host at WVU 3 symposium a year. It's open to everyone. It's not only for WVU students or faculty. Anyone can come and attend the symposium. It's a really good opportunity to network with both students, graduate students, mentors, and faculty, because they all attend the symposium. And also to learn what kind of research are other undergraduates doing at WVU. So I really encourage, if you have the opportunity to come to our symposium. We also list in our website the schedule of the symposium. Our next symposium, it's going to be, I think I included here, the Spring Undergraduate Research Symposium. It's going to be April 9. Abstract submissions will open next week. So keep an eye on submission for abstract for the symposium. But even if you do not submit an abstract, you can visit the symposium just to check who is presenting, what people are presenting. Other opportunities that I listed here is the Undergraduate Research Day at the Capitol. I know First2 Network also advertise these opportunities. Students can go to the Capitol, present their research. And most importantly, if you are not doing research, just go. Go to chat with other students who are doing research, learn from them, learn how did they get involved in research, what make them choose to do research, why they choose to do research. Was it easy to find the opportunity? Was it easy to apply? Why they think they were selected for their research experience? So I really encourage students to participate on those events, because it's how you learn, right? How you network, how you learn of other opportunities or how to get started in research. I will share this presentation as well for the First2 website afterwards. So you can check in the link. We list in our website all symposium. If you go to symposium, past symposium here, you can check all presentations. We host our symposium in a platform called Forager One. It's a glitch because my computer is new. But I'm not going to register because I already have a registration. You just need to put your name and your email, and then you'll be able to check all the presentations and that students presented at the WVU symposium. I think that's all. I want to give the floor to Katie so she will have time to speak about the personal statements component. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can send me by email. I'm happy to talk to you one-on-one and help you to find research opportunities. particularly for this coming summer, because I know many opportunities are open for applications by March. So if you need help, I'm here to help you guys apply. Okay, thank you so much.
And she really does mean that. For those of you guys who work with Cynthia, you know that. But for, Jamie and those of you guys who are not at WVU, um, Cynthia is a real integral part of First Two Network. And if this is something that you're interested in, she absolutely will help you. Just just get a hold of her. It is that is a real open and genuine invitation.
And also, I know like faculty at your institutions that I can talk to them and say, hi, this I have these students from your institution, can I help them? I've done this at WVU Tech, at other institutions as well, because we know each other, right? Like whoever is in charge of undergraduate research, we always meet in conferences, events, and we are here to help students. Okay, Katie, the
All
floor is
right.
yours.
So let's see. I will let's see, Cincha, if you can stop sharing. There you go. I will put mine up. All right. And let's see here. Okay. So I am Katie Ferrari from the Aspire office at WVU, and we help students apply for nationally competitive scholarships. We also help students applying to grad school, law school, and for all of those things, people usually need to be able to write a personal statement. So I know that personal statements can be really confusing and really daunting for students. Sometimes when you're applying for something like an REU or for a scholarship, it may be the first time that you've been asked to write something like that. So I just want to run through some of the most important things to keep in mind as you're writing. So the very first thing is that it is indeed a personal statement. So if you are writing something that anyone could write when they're applying for this REU or scholarship, then it's not a personal statement. So as you're writing, just go ahead and take out those sentences that are not letting the reader know anything about you, but that anyone could say. So an example of that would be if a student is applying for, let's say, a scholarship to go study abroad. You don't want to spend time describing the importance of study abroad in general, because anyone can talk about the importance of study abroad, right? Instead, you want to talk about why going to this certain country or learning this specific language will help you with your goals, why it's the next step in your development. Those are the things that you want to write about, okay? The most important real estate in your personal statement is your first sentence and definitely your first paragraph. So make sure that your opening paragraph really is something that only you can write and that really speaks to who you are and what your goals are. So a lot of times you're going to get a prompt. Sometimes for grad school, for example, the prompt can be just really very generic, but sometimes the prompts are pretty specific. Like an example of a generic prompt would be like, tell us why you're interested in this program, or tell us why this program will help you reach your career goals. And then I've seen other prompts that are kind of wild and, and really specific. But most of the time, what they're wanting to get at is a little bit of who you are, why you're interested in this specific thing, how it's going to help you reach your goals. So what you want to do when you're writing is keep the prompt in front of you at all times. Just probably have it at the top of the page and keep going back to it. Think about the prompt, make sure that you are addressing all parts of it. Sometimes the prompt is multi-part. So as you're writing, make sure that you're keeping all of the parts of the prompt in mind. And when it is a multiple prompt like that, that can be a really good thing because that can give you a way to organize your personal statement to make sure you hit all the points. Sometimes it's just a matter of like answering the first part, the second part, the third part of the prompt. Okay, so that's kind of nice when it's multi-part like that. It gives you direction and a structure. So sometimes, like I said, though, the prompt can be pretty generic, kind of a tell us about yourself and why you're interested in this type of thing. And in that case, it's up to you to come up with your own organization, and you'll have to make sure that it's up to you to think about everything that should go into a personal statement in that case. I like to think of a personal statement in three parts. So the first part is who are you? What's your background? How did you get to this point in time where you are a junior in college who is applying for a summer undergraduate research experience? Um, yeah, how did you get here? What led you to this? And so by asking yourself those questions, you're going to start thinking, what about my story is relevant for the thing that I'm applying for? Okay. Second, where do you want to go? What's your vision for the future? What do you hope to do? What are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? And then third, and this is the one that students often miss. How does what you're applying to, whether it's an REU or a scholarship or grad school, how does that bridge who you are now to who you want to become in the future? So number three is the bridge between number one and number two. And it's important that you're really making that case and being really explicit about it, about that connection. Why is this program essential for you? How will it get you from point A to point B? Um, so what that means is that when you are ready to start your personal statement, you need to make sure you've done your homework about the program that you're applying to. You want to make sure that you've read the prompt carefully, respond to all elements of the prompt, but also that, yeah, you know what it is that you're applying to. Show them that you are interested in the specifics of their program, that you've done your research about it. Okay. And now some tips, some writing tips. So, a personal statement, you can think of it as a persuasive essay because that's exactly what it is. This is your chance to tell the reader why you are a great fit for this particular program. So it's important for you to tell the story of who you are and why you're a good fit in a way that is captivating and engaging, that's interesting. So if you think about it, the readers of applications, whatever you're applying to, they're going to be reading a lot of applications. In some cases, they could be reading dozens of applications. So you want your story to stand out. You want to have a unique, interesting story. And that's a great way to capture the reader's attention. Now, I want to say right here, you may be thinking, there's nothing unique or interesting about my story. I think we all think that about ourselves. I certainly have thought that about mine. Like, what's interesting about me that somebody would want to read about and be captivated by? The I'm here to tell you, you do not have to be doing something that no one has ever done before in order to present an interesting story. You do not have to have the most dramatic or exciting background that anyone has ever heard of. Your life, your background, who you are as a person, how you came to be at this point in your life, and why you're interested in what you're interested in, you can make that compelling. Anyone and everyone can. Everyone in this Zoom room can make that story compelling. I guarantee you that you can. Okay. The next point is to be prepared to write several drafts, spend time editing, read through what you've written. Now, editing on your own, that can be hard because a lot of times you're reading your personal statement over and over again until you're you're kind of not seeing anything that you can add or anything that could be strengthened. So I would say One tip is to read it out loud. Sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes saying it and hearing it will help you see maybe where things don't quite fit or make sense, or where something could be a little bit more said in a more smooth way, for example. You want to understand why each sentence is there. Each sentence should be doing something for you, okay? Remove run-on sentences, remove incomplete sentences. I see a lot of both when I'm reading personal statements. In other words, check your grammar. Okay, your grammar should be great. You know, that should be the easiest part. The getting that narrative together and telling your story, that's the heavy lift. That's the difficult part. The grammar check. You know, you read it over, get an advisor or a professor to read it over. Aspire, our office helps WVU students, both undergrad and graduate students and WVU alums, by giving feedback on personal statements. But as you're getting help from people, which it's great, you know, to get people to read it over and give feedback, I just want to caution you that if you run your personal statement through a bunch of different people, a lot of changes can be introduced that start to really change the voice that you have when you write. So you want to be careful with that. You don't want your personal statement to lose all sense of what's personal to you. I try when I read personal statements in Aspire and give feedback, I try to be light-handed and try to, you know, just kind of give direction. I don't want to change what someone's trying to say or their own unique voice, because everyone has one. So just be aware of that. So get feedback from people who know you, but use the feedback sparingly. Don't let somebody overhaul your your personal statement and change your voice. You know, another thing that could happen is that it could become too generic if you do that. So you know, use that feedback in an intelligent way. Um, I guess is what I'm saying. Let's see. Make a case for yourself. Absolutely. You really want to make that strong case for how you will benefit the program that you're applying for, not just how you'll benefit, but how you're going to benefit them. What are you bringing to the table? So, for example, if you were applying to grad school, it would be, you know, how are you going to be a great addition to the department that you'll be joining? Um, that being said, it's important to avoid platitudes. So platitudes are things, statements that have been said so often by so many people that they've lost their capacity to be interesting or thoughtful. You know, for example, let's see, rather than saying like, I like to help people, okay? Rather than saying, I like to help people, what you would want to do is describe a volunteer experience, for example, that got you excited about your field. So in Aspire, we always tell students, show, don't tell. Don't tell me that you are, don't just tell me that you are adaptable and resilient. Show me through an example of how you've been adaptable, how you've faced a challenge in the past. All right. So it's really important. A lot of times I see people trying to pack a lot of these different things into their personal statement. You know, I overcome challenges. I'm adaptable. I work great. I work really well on a team. What's effective is, rather than saying those things, if you talk about a time that you worked really well and successfully with a team, maybe to overcome a challenge or something. Okay, that's going to be a lot more convincing than you just saying that you can do those things. Um, and then, yeah, we also want personal details. I go back to what I said at the beginning, make it personal. You really want the reader to get a sense for who you are by the end of your personal statement and where you want to go. And then the other thing I will say is that it's okay for the first couple of drafts to feel really, really rough. That is okay. That is that is normal. Sometime, and we expect that in Aspire. So if you send us a personal statement that you want us to look over, don't be embarrassed. Judgment-free zone. We have seen it all. And go ahead and send it. Everyone has to start somewhere, and we can help you with polishing that statement up. Um, and yeah, and that leads me to also leave yourself enough time to be able to do a few drafts of your personal statement to really work on it. And then the last tip here about the prompt, keep going back to the prompt. Always keep in mind, what is the prompt? Am I responding to the prompt? Am I telling the story of who I am? Am I creating a vision for my future? Am I showing that I have skills by examples of how I've used those skills? And have I shown that this particular program is the bridge that will get me to where I want to go in the future? Um, have you read the statement out loud and taken out any language that anyone could say that's just too generic or doesn't advance your narrative? Have you shared your personal statement with a couple of trusted advisors and gotten feedback? Um, so if you've done all of those things, and I know it's a long list, but if you've done all of those things, you're going to write a terrific personal statement. Um, yeah, so those are my tips, and I'm happy to take any questions. I know this is a lot, but I think the big takeaways from this are to remember that it's persuasive writing, to remember the three parts of the personal statement: who you are, where you're going, how this program will get you from where you are now to where you want to be, and just make sure that you keep that you're responding to the prompt. Those are the main things, I think. Anybody have any questions? I'm sure some of you have had to write personal statements. I know Ella has had to write some personal statements. Um, so I will say that the more you do it, the easier it gets. The first time is really hard. And I think there's just no getting through that except to just get through it and to work on it. But every time you write a personal statement and apply to something, the next time, I promise it will be easier. It will come more easily to you.
Absolutely. I will add that, as somebody like reviews scholarships, and I don't necessarily do this, but do just tell your story. And
Mm-hmm.
it really is, if everybody just writes the generic thing and doesn't really put who they are into it, then it gets boring and you glaze over. And it really, the folks who figure out how to put that personal touch in, even if it feels a little bit weird, or a
Mm-hmm.
little too much, or a little like, it really does. Don't be afraid to sell what makes you just a little bit different than other people.
Yeah.
I want to just jump in about something. I read tons of personal statements for the SURE applications every year. And I do not know if maybe Katie want to talk a little about personal statements AI generated that we receive.
Mm.
So don't do that, please.
AI
Yes,
has its
don't do
place. It
that.
is not to write your personal statement, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, and it really,
So,
I mean, it goes back to every one of you has a voice, whether you know it or not. And I tell my students, because I teach history classes and we write papers, we write essays. And I tell my students, I would much rather see a paper or a personal statement that is, it's your voice with all of its, imperfections and idiosyncrasies, and maybe everything is not totally, totally perfect, but it's your voice rather than something that is AI generated that sounds like it could be from, any of the other applicants. Yeah, don't do that. That's just a way to really shoot yourself in the foot. It really is about telling your story in your words and making it personal.
Now, I want to add something on to this because it's kind of a very important topic with AI, because I have this argument with a lot of people. I think using AI in a moderate way, you have your own document, you know what you want. There's a difference between copying all of what the AI says and using a little bit of it to maybe like, oh, that's an idea. Let me implement that because it's more in detail of my personal life. Sometimes AI
So
can give you ideas.
what I'll say about this is that, and this may not be as relevant for REUs, but for scholarships, they're often now asking students to affirm and to sign that they have not used any generative AI when they write any part of their application. So I would just say be careful with that because you could get to the end of the application and you could be in a situation where you have to affirm that you didn't use generative AI, and if you have, then you have, and that's just something that we're seeing more and more of. Um,
Yeah. So what I'm like implying is not copying what the AI is saying, but it's giving you ideas of more what to talk about. So you're getting ideas from AI. You're
But I
not
think the
copying anything.
idea, I understand what you're saying, but I think the ideas should come from you. That's the most important part is that the ideas and what to talk about. Um, and if, you know, maybe it's useful to talk it out a little bit with somebody, with a professor or somebody who knows you if you're not sure what to write about or how to kind of like approach your narrative. Because yeah, and I think it's a little bit it is harder to do, but I think the reward is that you'll be choosing what to talk about, and you'll be crafting your own narrative in a way that is really personal to you. So, I mean, it's of course it's up to you, and other people may feel differently, but at least with the scholarships and fellowships that we work with, um, you know, that's it's a slippery slope to go down.
Yeah, so you want to make sure
It's
that you're using all of your tools. You can Google things. You can see what people generally put as things of personal statements to sort of get the ball rolling about what might be. It is a little hard to like
Mhm.
to think about what about me is unique and special. That is a hard exercise to go down, but use and use your human beings that are around you that do know what is unique and special about you. All of those things are true, and it is just very true about like as Catherine said, like at the end of the day, if you have to certify something one way or the other, like that's just a reality that you have to be real about, whether or not, however you're using those tools. Just make sure that you're cognizant of what check boxes you're going to have to check off and sign your name to at the end um so that you're making sure that you are using all of the things that you can and really like use your people.
Mhm.
Particularly, I find that particularly useful whenever you're thinking about personal things about yourself because it is a little hard to think about what makes you unique and different. But I'm sure that if I sat down with Cynthia, who I've worked with for years, she could probably come up with three things that I wouldn't necessarily think about myself. Those are important things to do.
That's true.
And I always mention that this is an exercise, right? That will give you skills, transferable skills to things that you're going to do. For research, for instance, you need to exercise the capacity to think, to reflect in all that you're going to do. So the personal statement is not only your story, it was the work that you put on writing something, reflecting about something. This is developed on you, this skill to think about, to reflect, to write, skills that you're going to use on those like research experiences, for instance. So I'm sad when I see students delegating more and more those to a machine, to think for them, because we will end up with people that are not problem solvers, critical thinkers, because a machine is doing that. I'm totally fine on having AI correcting grammar. I do that all the time. Is there any, especially because English is not my native language, I want to check for like spelling grammar errors because I do not want to have those grammar errors, right, on whatever I'm writing. But the core idea needs to come from you. I think that's very important.